Number 55. Adam is doing some canoeing. Let's join him on this trip. It takes him 6 hours to canoe upstream from his campsite to the lake and back again. Okay? While paddling upstream, he averages 2 miles an hour. When he comes back, he's averaging 4 miles an hour. How many miles was it from the campsite to the lake? This can be challenging because we have two different rates, but this can be easy because we also have Backsolve. Let's test it out. We're going to say how many miles is it from the campsite to the lake? It's going to be 10 miles. Why? Because that's the middle number. Let's see how this plays out. If he goes upstream at 2 miles an hour and he's got to travel 10 miles, that must mean it's going to take him 5 hours to do this. Now, quick note, sometimes it's a little bit challenging to decide whether you should divide or multiply when dealing with rates. I like to highlight that you can count this on your fingers. How many miles did I go in 1 hour if I go 2 miles per hour? Okay, that means that I went 2 miles. Okay, great. Now I've gone another hour. That's 4 miles. 6, 8, 10. It must mean that it took me 5 hours. I like to highlight that all of math comes from counting on your fingers. It's called base 10 math. It's why we have things like decimals and percents and they're out of 10. Why? Because we have 10 fingers. So don't feel bad if you're going to count this out. 5 hours going one direction. We only have 6 hours in total to do this. How long is it going to take us to get back? Well, if we have 10 miles and on the way back we go 4 miles an hour, so that's 4 miles, that's 8 miles. And that's about a half, so it's 2.5 hours. Well, it's 5 hours one way and 2.5 hours the other way. That means in total we've got 7.5 hours. But the question told us we only get 6. So our trip, as designed by choosing 10 miles, starting with C, was too long. What does that mean? C, D, and E are all wrong, and we're going to go test B. Let's see how it works when it's 8 miles. Well, if it's 8 miles and I go 2 miles an hour, 2, 4, 6, 8, that's 4 hours in one direction. And I'm going to come back at 4 miles an hour. So that's going to be 4, 8, that's 2 hours. And what's 4 plus 2? That's 6. Question number 55, one of the hardest questions on the entire test, often dedicated to those students in the 99th percentile. And we solve this in less than a minute by counting on our fingers. That's the power of Backsolve.
That's the power of Backsolve.
Yeah.
Do we not have, is that the last one?
Yep.
Great, nailed it. One other thing I want you to do, take off this. Actually, I'm going to change this really quick.